Welcome to this video supplement for Fuel Delivery Module Replacement Safety Recall 13S04. This presentation will highlight service tips for successful replacement of the fuel delivery module. It's also intended to help you prevent making some common mistakes that can result in a repeat repair. Safety Recall 13S04 applies to 2013 Model Year Explorer, Taurus, MKS, Flex, MKT, Fusion, MKZ, and Police Interceptor Utility and Sedan vehicles. These service tips cover issues noted in repeat repair reports, discussions by service technicians on the FMC dealer discussion boards, and with concerns presented by the members of the Technician Review Panel. The service tips to be discussed include preventing damage to the fuel sending unit, fuel indication concerns caused by the float arm becoming trapped by the fuel vapor line, information on releasing fuel line quick connect clips, tips on reconnecting the vapor line to the fuel delivery module, and inspecting for fuel delivery module O-ring damage. Precautions should be taken to handle the fuel sending unit carefully whenever transferring it from one fuel delivery module to another and while installing a fuel delivery module in a fuel tank. When transferring a fuel sending unit between fuel delivery modules, use care when releasing the wiring connector and the sending unit from the original fuel delivery module. It helps to do this on a stable work surface. Avoid placing any pressure on the float arm in any direction. Before placing a fuel delivery module into a fuel tank, inspect for any internal lines or vent hoses that are attached to the inside top of the fuel tank. There have been many reports of inaccurate fuel indication after repairs because either the float rod was damaged on installation or it became trapped on an internal tank line and couldn't move. The concern with the float becoming trapped on a vapor line is most likely to occur on Explorer, Flex, and MKT models due to where the vapor line is positioned at the top of the tank. Front-wheel drive Fusion and MKZ models also have an internal vapor line that the float can get caught on, so be careful when working on those too. In addition, it's important to drain the fuel from the fuel tank as called out in the workshop manual procedure, otherwise it will be impossible to properly position the sending unit float in the tank on installation. Another tip to check your work is to see that the fuel gauge reads empty after reinstallation before you add any fuel. You can also verify that the fuel level changes after adding fuel. Next is quick connect fuel line clips. There are several kinds of clips used to connect the fuel and vapor lines depending on the type of line connection being made. Release and reconnection of the quick connect fuel line clips is covered in section 310-00 of the workshop manual. One connection that can be difficult to remove and reinstall is this 5/8" vapor hose connection under the top of many fuel delivery modules. To release this kind of clip, simply depress the round portion into the back of the clip. This spreads the two legs of the clip, which releases it from the fitting on the fuel delivery module. Once depressed, slide the connection apart to remove the line. On Taurus and MKS models, where the fuel delivery module is removed and installed from inside the vehicle, the room to disconnect this fitting is tight. Using a push-pin trim removal tool to push the hose connection down after depressing the clip can make this easier to remove. Putting pressure on the connector before depressing the clip will make it more difficult to remove, so be sure to depress the clip first. A trick for reconnecting the fuel vapor tube on Taurus and MKS models is to install a 12-inch zip tie around the tube near the quick connect coupling and use it to retrieve and connect the line as the fuel delivery module is being installed in the vehicle. As the module is installed, be sure to route the vapor line so that it's not crossed or interfering with the fuel transfer line on saddle-type fuel tanks. Another issue can occur after repairs if the vapor connection under the fuel delivery module flange is not fully seated. This will result in liquid fuel transfer to the carbon canister, causing mill illumination and potential drivability issues with P0460 and P0465 diagnostic trouble codes. A good idea is to use a push pin trim removal tool to push on the hose connection to make sure it's fully latched. Cut the zip tie off before completing installation of the fuel delivery module. There are a few other types of clips that may be encountered in the fuel system. Clips like this red one that secures the fuel transfer tube to the fuel delivery module in the tank are released by squeezing the tabs together and pulling the retainer up. This is the same on this green clip that connects to the vapor port on top of the fuel delivery module. After installation, these clips are secured by depressing the lock tab in position. The fuel delivery tube on this FDM is secured using a connector with a blue locking clip. To release this hose connection, spread the two external legs of the lock ring and slide the locking clip up. Other external lines may have clips that require spreading the external legs and sliding the locking clip up, then depressing the tab on the connector to spread the internal legs to release it. See Workshop Manual Section 310-00 for further information on releasing clips that may be used in the fuel system. Finally, there have been some reports of cut or damaged fuel delivery module O-rings that result in fuel leaks after repairs are complete. Please inspect the replacement O-ring to ensure that it's not damaged before installation, and use care during fuel delivery module installation to avoid cutting, pinching, or damaging the O-ring. Thanks for your time. If you require further information or more specific information, please refer to the Dealer Bulletin, technical information, and other documents for Safety Recall 13S04 here on fmcdealer.com.